What profits a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? What profits a man to gain the whole world and lose his very soul? Money is not everything, y'all. Money sure isn't happiness. Now, hey, I agree that money can really change things. I like me some money too. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to shop and I like nice things. You know what I'm saying? But I can't be bought with those things. You know what I'm saying? What profits a man to gain the whole world and lose his very soul? And in light of like what's going on with the Diddy situation right now, I don't know if you guys have been following, but I do. And it's coming out about this AIDS thing that's going on now, that epidemic, that's the word I'm looking for, epidemic that's going on, because they're trying, like, it's deeper than him just bending these boys over. To get in the deal. So now they've gone against their ethics and things like that. A lot of people want to say that they were probably already, that was probably already their mindset. However, I tend to differ. I don't think all of them went into it with that in mind. But when the temptation came of all the riches and everything that they had to offer, then they said yeah. And they were probably, a lot of them probably looked at it as a one-time situation, or or maybe Diddy came at him a few times. And I'm going somewhere with this because maybe he came at him a few times or so, because he's trying to completely strip your manhood, just break you. You see what I'm saying? And that's what the world does, y'all. That's what the world will do. It's not just in situations like that. You can take that same concept and apply it to every aspect of life. And that's what the world trying to do, is break you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us are being broken and bought because of money. We value money more than the true things in life that make you happy, like seeing your kids smile on Christmas, Christmas when they opening up their presents, being around, or throwing birthday parties, cutting the cake, These are special moments that are happiness that, it just can't even be bought. You see what I'm saying? So when he does this to these guys, then after a while, folks, it might fall off. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine with some, I think he had others that he stayed with for a while, but it might fall off, you know what I'm saying? And he keeps that cycle going. He even uses, most of the time they say he was using like people to, when he was done with that one, he would use that one to go get him another one. And of course they would do it because, listen to this mentality. Of course they would do it because they don't want to do it no more. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so then, they go on with their career, and, the devil has promised him all these things because that's what it is. It's a contract with the devil. The Diddy is under an agenda. He's working for the kingdom of darkness. He has an agenda to do these things. Satan was he was the minister of music in heaven. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so prevalent in the music world. But what you got to understand, it's not just music world, it's the arts, period. So it's in the movie stars, the big screen, it's everywhere. It's politics, people in high places. That's who the Satan gives these assignments to, is the people in high places, because they can reach the masses and pollute it, because there's an agenda that they're trying to push. You know what I'm saying? And, that's why it's being more openly spoken on, and, different types of lifestyles and stuff, and I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just being honest with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Different types of lifestyles and all of this, right? Okay. But the point is, they're making those lifestyles acceptable, nowadays, you know what I'm saying, where it was like taboo. Okay. But the point is that Diddy, after they go on and they've stopped doing what they're doing and they gave him somebody new, and they move on, and they bring the new person around, right? And Diddy starts this cycle over again, right? So now they're out there and they're working in their field. They got hit records and stuff. And, then they, I'm saying, they got all the girls. So they, I'm saying, it comes with the lifestyle, I'm saying, they probably, knocking off all types of chicks, after concerts or whatever, the groupies and all of this going on. Okay, so now we've involved a lot of other people in their mess. Okay, because then all of a sudden we have issues and we go to the doctor and you're in the prime of your life. You've done what you had to do to make your money and they tell you you are HIV positive. So now you have no choice but to just continue to go back to the Diddy parties. It's, I'm saying, it's almost like, now we just go knock off everybody we thought we was, we can knock off because, I'm saying, God, that's what's happening. And, and if people are real with themselves, you know what I'm saying, and you ponder the thought, if that's what if you ever had that, I thank the Lord that I'm healthy, because if we all really tell the truth about it, especially if you got kids, you had unprotected sex. It don't matter about being married and all of that. If you had unprotected sex and you still healthy and clean, thank the Father, God, y'all, because you just never know what another person is doing. You can maybe account for yourself, but you don't know what another person is doing. You know what I'm saying? And I've been in lifestyles with guys and stuff that, I might have been faithful, but I knew they was cheating on me. And it was the scariest thing. So I'm very thankful and blessed to make it out. Because now I'm living my days, and, what profits a man to gain the world, but lose his soul? Because, in a lot of situations, what I'm saying, these people offer me the world. They offer me the world, what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to say anything about anybody. I'm just making the analogy, but these people offered me the world. So if I would have been all about money, then yeah, I could have sold out too. And that's what's really going on. The devil that's how people sell out. It's all about money. So you're in the prime of your life, and like all your accolades and all these accomplishments that you've achieved, it don't even mean nothing, because you wake up every day with that scarlet A over your head. It's just not worth it, guys. You know what I'm saying? You got to get something rooted within you. You gotta have morals. You gotta have you gotta have guidelines. You gotta set you gotta put things in place, that you can't come over this. I can't think of the word. You can't step over this line. You have to let people know. No, now you've gone too far, or money can't buy me out. And that's all I wanted to share with you today. It's a sad situation, y'all, because really about mostly everybody in Hollywood is sick. And they got money, to keep up with, all of the care and stuff, to keep their weight up. I think Diddy, he does the fluids after they had those parties, he put the fluids back in them, what I'm saying, from doing all these drugs and stuff. That'll make you start doing drugs, just knowing, waking up with that sentence over your head. You know what I'm saying? Life is not beautiful anymore. You ain't looking at the grass or smelling the roses, but they do have the money to take care. But think about all those people that's been infected that don't have access to that. You know, life is real, y'all. So when I just want to encourage people, before you go out here and start making decisions, you know, think about what really matters to you in life. Think about what you really love, how it would affect them as well. You know, I love you. I promise you I love you. And that's why I do it. You know, because it's not always easy to be transparent. But I do it because it's going to help somebody. It's helping somebody. You know, and to God be the glory. All right, you guys have a great evening. And I'll be back at another one. And hey, get on the winning team.